Welcome back to STL TV Live. I'm here with Katie Flaschar from Safe Connections, and we're talking about the 1 Billion Rising for Justice event that is going to be taking place in February. And just remind us again what this is.
So it's basically a big dance mob. There's a choreographed dance that people can go and learn and come to the Missouri History Museum on February 18th, join with other people who are passionate about the cause and just dance to spread awareness. If people don't learn every single step of the dance, that's okay. We still want them there just as a supporter.
Right, and we're talking about the cause, talking about domestic violence, sexual violence, abuse.
That's right.
And I think the statistic, 1 in 3 women will be beaten or raped in their lifetime. I mean, you know, I feel different stories. We heard a similar statistic with the military coming out about women in the military.
Yes.
You hear continuous stories on college campuses in India going on, but this happens everywhere, including right here in St. Louis.
That's right, and it happens to everyone.
Yeah.
A lot of people have misconceptions about who the victim is, who the survivor is, and we feel like it's really important to get the message out there that it can happen to anyone. You know, no matter what they drive, no matter what they wear, it doesn't matter, it happens to everyone.
And I think what's important about what you do is, I think for a lot of women, when something happens, it's either, okay, I have to call the police, or what? Like, there is no feeling of where do I go?
Right.
And this is exactly what Safe Connections is about. This is where you should go, where you should call.
Right. We kind of consider ourselves kind of a hub of information. So if somebody calls our 24-hour crisis helpline, they're going to be able to get all kinds of resources in the St. Louis area. We are a local nonprofit, and we are connected all over with different agencies that can help clients who need their services, whether it be legal services, whether it be where can I take my dog because I can't leave my situation. No matter what the case is, we try our best to help. And when I say people who are calling the helpline, that can be the person in the situation, that can be a loved one, that can be a neighbor, a coworker, anyone who doesn't know what to do and needs answers. We try and be there.
And is there a cost to any of this?
Absolutely not. All of our services are completely free, which is really awesome. We also offer our services which include the 24-hour crisis helpline. We have individual and group therapy, and then we do prevention work. And with our individual and group therapy, it's completely free, and it also is for as long as the client needs it. So after 3 weeks, 3 months, if they're still not ready, they can stay. They can continue getting services so that we make sure they leave in a good place.
When you think about the situations of your clients, and I mean, I'm sure your day-to-day, they range, but what would you say is some of the more common situations you might see and some of the lesser known situations that you might see? So for anyone watching this who might think of themselves or someone they know, it might fall in, you know, jog their memory or come to mind.
Sure. Well, you know, it's hard to answer that because there is such a wide variety. You know, to keep confidential information and to make sure that our clients are safe, you know, that information isn't usually shared among the whole staff. But I will say that a lot of the times what we see is people who didn't know they were in a situation like this. They didn't know it was an abusive situation, especially with our teens. You know, our prevention education, they go out into schools in the St. Louis area and talk to teens about what's a healthy relationship, what's okay, what's not okay. And, you know, those educators have told me time and time again that after these workshops, students will come up to them and say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was in an unhealthy relationship. And so you know, it's Safe Connections coming to their school, talking to them about it, that kind of opened their eyes to the situation and made them realize this isn't okay.
When we started the interview, I mentioned that, you know, in the media, a lot of times you'll hear about the stuff that goes on college campuses, or recently there's been a lot of stuff going on about tourism, you know, the tourists in India who've been attacked and raped. And I feel like from a media standpoint and even pop culture, there was a time in the 80s, 90s, movies were about domestic violence. You know, there's that one with Julia Roberts. It feels like this topic comes and then it goes and comes and it goes. Why do you think that is? Are the numbers still that high when you look at, are they still as high as they were a decade ago? Oh,
sure. I mean, it's a huge issue. I think it's a very uncomfortable issue for people to talk about. You know, if something happens in the media where a celebrity is attacked or something political happens, then it gets brought back to people's attention. But we're not puppies, we're not babies. People don't want to talk about rape. Domestic violence is very taboo. Sexual violence is a very difficult topic for people to talk about. A lot of times victims are embarrassed, which is terrible. They have nothing to be embarrassed about. And so, you know, Safe Connections, we do our best to try and spread that word that it's okay to talk about it, that you need to seek services, and that it's not okay that this is happening as often as it is.
Right, and that someone's there for you, I think importantly, all the way, all the step of the way, which is what you do. Well, we've got the information right there. It's a 24-hour crisis helpline, 314-531-2003. Again, all the services are at no cost. And I think it's important to point out that Safe Connections, what Katie was saying is that it goes all the way through. So from that initial call to finding till the end,
That's
essentially.
right. That's right, until they're in a comfortable place.
Okay, well, thank you so much
Thank
for being here, and
you.
thank you very much, and good luck with everything for
Thank
Dance
you.
Mob.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
We're excited.
Well, there's more to come on STL TV Live, and if you're a fan of crawfish, you won't want to miss our next event. We'll be right back.